Hello, hello, hi, gigpreneur. What is happening? What's going on? Happy Saturday in hopes that you squeezed more out of your day than the day squeezed out of you. My name is Sean Zamy, and I am somebody who went from corporate America to an online gigpreneur only because my pancreas shut down on me, left me unemployable. In fact, I lost my job because of it, and with nothing to fall back on. So I got redirected to this online space, and now I help folks like you, like me, to start a side business online. And we help each other using social media to grow it. So let's go. If that resonates with you, go to sidegeeksean.com and I'll reach out. We'll have a conversation and we'll take it from there. What is going on? Today was an interesting day. I had about an hour and a half drive to go see a family member that we hadn't seen for decades, and it was pouring rain. I mean, we've had a we've had a storm for about 2 weeks now, which is really rare out here in Southern California. That doesn't happen very often. But yeah, it was a really crazy day, and it was an interesting meet with the fuzzin with the far cousin fuzzin. Yeah, I like that. Fuzzin is far cousin. Yeah, I like that. Drop a one in the comments if you like that. Um, it was an interesting meet. It was definitely an interesting meet, and but hey, made it back in this crazy rain, and here we are to tell you a story. Hey, how are you doing with your resolutions? Huh? If you've watched my New Year's Eve live, you'll know that I don't do resolutions. I call them what if. Um, and if you want to know what all that means, then drop the words what if in the comments, and I will tag you to that live. So tonight, let me tell you a little story. A farmer's wife is out in their small little field. Excuse me. And she's doing her thing. Og, how are you? Welcome. Good to see you. I see you on YouTube. By the way, if you are here live and you're watching on different platforms, I wouldn't know until you drop a comment. If you're watching Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, you can just drop a comment and I'll know you are here. What if? Yes, let's go. So, no resolutions. What if statements? No, no, I want to lose 20 pounds this year. Instead, what if I lost 20 pounds? Right? So that's a whole other live. I can tag you to that. And make sure that you subscribe to me on YouTube and other platforms like Facebook or TikTok, Instagram, and then I can send you that. But I have it on YouTube as well. Dude, that's awesome. I appreciate you. Thank you, man. Yeah, for sure. Connect with me so I know who you are. Yeah, definitely. Ox says, I'm a big fan. I love it. Hey, that makes one. That's pretty good so far. I'm on a roll. Um, Make sure you connect with me on like other platforms. Like I said, Facebook, Instagram. I go with Side Gig Sean across the board with everybody. So yeah, definitely connect with me. So let me tell you the story tonight. A farmer's wife is out in her field, small field, and she's doing her thing that her ring falls off. And before she gets to it, this little mouse just comes in, and this little rat comes in and just grabs the ring and runs. Oh, the farmer's wife is like, oh my goodness, how are we going to find this thing? So waits for her husband to come home, tells the husband, and says, "This little rat took my ring, and I feel like it swallowed it, you know?" And he's all like, "Well, how are we going to find this thing? So let's go out there and take a look." So they go out there and they're taking a look, and they're like, "Dude, we can't find this guy." And besides, there's like so many rats out here, right? So um, the next day, they decide to hire somebody to come and check out the rats to see which one possibly has the ring. So this guy kind of comes out and they show him the field and they say, "Hey, this is what happened. This little rat grabbed the ring and ran, and we think it swallowed it. And, try to find it." So this guy goes around the yard and looks around, and sure enough, he can see there's a bunch of rats. There's a lot of rats in this field. So, but there's one that catches his attention as he's kind of turning. He catches this one rat that is sitting by itself. It's like away from all the other rats because all the other rats were kind of sort of around each other, but this one was like far from everybody else. So he goes and so he goes and gets it, gets that rat, brings it back, and tells the farmer and his wife that this is the rat that's got your ring. And they say, "What do you mean? How do you know that this is the rat?" And the guy says, "Sometimes when somebody comes to um, all of a sudden, some wealth, some success, some fame, they pull away from the crowd and they feel like they're above everybody else now because it was so sudden. It wasn't earned, right? And they feel like they kind of just, nobody is in their level, right? So now that story may be one that you may think, okay, well, that's kind of far fetched. I don't know if that's going to happen or whatnot. Yes, maybe. But if you were to take that, bring it to human life, isn't that true with a lot of people? When they taste fame, when they taste success, when they win a small, I don't know, prize, isn't that the case? When they all of a sudden come to success and they gloat, and the friends that were around last week now they're no longer in their level, right? Thank you for all the love. I appreciate it, right? So, isn't that true with a lot of people? And here's the thing this one may hit hard some people, right? Um, you may be educated in, you may be a doctor, you may be a physician, you may be an engineer, you may be an astro scientist, I don't know, right? You may be super educated and you may have earned it, but that doesn't mean that you still don't consider other people to your level. What I'm trying to say is that you could be educated, you could be a doctor, a physician, an astronaut, whatever, but then if you still don't treat people like people at their own level and you feel like you're above everybody and you feel like you can push down on other people, um, isn't that the same thing as being the rat with the ring? You got the ring, but is it right? So it teaches us a very important lesson, or perhaps it reminds us that, you know, pursue purpose, go after success, make it happen. That's yes. Two thumbs up to that. But don't you dare treat other people like crap just because now you're on top. Because you could be on top and have zero class. You can be educated and have zero class, right? So it's very important to keep that in mind because you meet people. I know people that are millionaires, and they have been for a while. It's not like today, right? And you would never guess if you see them. You would think that, yeah, these people are well set, you know, they're doing really well, you could tell, but you would never, they don't walk around gloating to other people, right? So it's, where I get my story, I got my resources. That's funny. Um, I like telling stories. I've told a lot of stories. So I'll give you a little something for those of you who are here tonight. I started doing my lives January 1st, 2019, as a challenge for myself for 1 year. I said, I'm going to go live for 1 year because I stutter. And excuse me, and I wanted to challenge myself, right? So at the end of the year, I was done and I said, I'm done with it. But my audience grew, and I didn't even have an audience, but my audience grew. And then they're like, oh, these are so cool. Just keep going. These are awesome. So this past January, 2 days ago, it was my 7 year anniversary. I've done 2,000, well, tonight, I've done 2,557 lives in a row. I've never missed one night, not one. So, and I love telling stories. I collect stories. I love telling stories. I, yeah, I love telling stories. So, um, yeah. So, same as in you do lives. I'm like, why such a rough name, bro? Um, so yeah, so that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So don't forget where you came from, right? Don't forget, don't forget where you came from. Don't forget other people. That everybody has got a story. You can't judge people by the way they walk or they dress or um, you just can't because you everybody's got a background that we don't know, and everybody's got a story, and everybody's going through something. So all these things play a very important role. Oh, you struggle immensely with talking, like you stutter. Okay, hold on. I'm about to. 1 second, you folks. I'm gonna block somebody. Okay, so yeah, I don't put up with a lot of BS. So if you give me one hint, slight hint of BS, you're blocked. I just don't have patience for that stuff, honestly. So yeah, that so 2007, 2000. Wait, what did I say? 2,757. That's not too bad, and every one of them has been a different subject. Maybe I've repeated my subject. Maybe I honestly don't think it's been more than 5 times. But yeah, yeah. So it's been fun. So I tell a lot of stories. Og, is it Og or Agu? Og, probably. So with that, hopefully you guys got some love, some inspiration, some value. By the way, 7 years ago, shoot, 4 years ago, I had almost 60 pounds over me on me. I've lost 58 pounds of muscle weight, not weight I wanted to lose. I did not want to lose. I look shrunk, like I have shrunk, um, because my pancreas shut down. And yeah, that's the rest of the story. Okay, story. Oh, come on now. Yeah, that listen, I don't know how old you are, but we can definitely look. I actually help people like you, like me. I'm just gonna tell my story real quick. I have American dude. I'm just gonna say American dude says, I don't got no stories, and I got no girlfriend, I got no money, no job. I totally can relate with that. I can so relate with that, bro. Um, but I found a way that is helping me, you know, and I help people do the same thing. And because of my pancreas, when it shut down, it left me unemployable. I actually lost my job because of this. And I used to work I was in the corporate world in like call center environment, 19 years. I did 14, 16-hour days, 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week. And all of a sudden, boom, all gone, done, gone, no more. Okay, so job destroyed. My fiance left, and I found out that my pancreas shut down and doesn't produce any enzymes. And this was all in 92 days. It just all happened. And this is 3 years ago, not too long ago. Thank you for the follow. I'll be sure to follow back. So this was about 3 years ago, and I got depressed. I went through a pretty. I mean, hey, I'm always very transparent, so I would say I am still coming out of it. It hit me really hard because everybody's got a story. Everybody's got a story. I can talk to you. You just told me a story, but that's the story right there. So I can poke you and bring out 5 stories out of you immediately. Um, but so I had depression pretty hard, and it was really rough because I had just got back on my feet from another rock bottom. This is my third time that I've hit rock bottom, and this is my last time. But I was just back on my feet. It was just going well, and this all this happened, and I lost everything. I lost my place. I lost everything. Lost everything all over again, and I'm rebuilding again. Right? The Bible says um, the wise fall down 7 times, they get back up 8 times. Thank you for all the love. Right? So you just keep getting back up. You know. So lost everything, was mad at the world and God and like everyone. And PK, what's up? I see you on Facebook, bro. What's up? And so, yeah, I was mad at God, and I, I actually did a live on this, but I learned something, and this is what I learned after 19 years in the corporate world. Never thought in a million years I would be like doing lives and doing skits on, sing and dance on Facebook. Dude, I stutter. I never thought I'd do that stuff. It's like, are you crazy? If you would have told me this, I'd be like, dude, you're crazy. You need a doctor. You're nuts. you know. So yeah, but here's what I learned through this, and this was the toughest thing I learned because it's the biggest adjustment, right? I learned that we don't get restricted, we get redirected. So I can see my pancreas shutting down as a restriction. I can see me losing my job over it. as a restriction, my fiance over it as a restriction, right? Or I could look at it as a redirection. So I can't get a job anymore. Therefore, I got to do something from home. Now, that leaves me with two categories. I got to work for a company that hires people from home so I can do things from home. But then that is another problem because I can't do that because I don't know what kind of a day I'm going to have. There are days that I'm in the bathroom literally 7, 8 times in a day. Like 3, 4 hours of my time is in the bathroom. Why do you think I've lost 58 pounds? Right? Nothing stays with me. Right? So that was taken away. Why? Because I'm not supposed to get a job. See, I'm not. I was redirected. I've had 38 jobs in 10 different industries altogether, 19 years in the mortgage industry. So, um, getting a job, I thought is the next thing. But see, I wasn't supposed to get a job. And because I was going to obviously apply for another job, he said, you know what? I'm going to take the pancreas away to make sure that you don't get a job and you do what you do. Sometimes we get this adjustment, this redirection to our purpose, and it's such a huge shift that we don't, not only we don't want to go there, we even refuse to look, right? So it's a redirection, right? Now you can sit here and I can sit here and we can say, oh, this or this or this. So if there is one thing you find yourself here complaining about, if you're complaining about something, um, we complain about things that we can change, but we just got to get off our butts. Everything you complain about, we can change. That's why we complain. Otherwise, we say it is what it is, right? So anything that we complain about is because we can change it. We just decide not to do the things we need to do to change it. So, with this is a pretty cool live, you guys. Um, somebody's I'm reading the B43R comment. I have no idea what you're talking about. Are you talking about tarot card readings? I have no idea what you're talking about. So you may be getting redirected, and you need to pay real good attention to that because, again, it's such a big shift. Now, um, well, like I said, my pancreas shut down, left me unemployable. I had nothing to fall back on, like no reserves. That's why I lost everything. I'm like, "Ugh, ugh." Okay, all right, okay. So I call it the comeback, right? But this comeback is so difficult and it's been tough, especially with the weight, because nothing stays in me and it's both financial and health, right? So I got to cover both. Now, um, because of this whole thing, I had to look for some way to do it online and just using social media and stuff. Everybody's doing it. Everybody's doing something. So I got redirected to this whole online space, gig economy. Now, what I do, I help folks like me, like you, anybody who wants to add a little extra income to what they got. They want to work a little extra. They want to hustle, earn, learn, and they like it being flexible. Like you could plug it into your life. Um, I help people like that to do the same thing. And we do it all together and we use social media. We teach you all of that. So I would recommend go to sidegigshawn.com. Boom, boom, boom. I'll reach out. We'll have a conversation. I'm like, I'm like straight up. I'm a mortgage guy. I'm a very straight up kind of guy. Don't be surprised, any of you on any platform who are watching, don't be surprised after the first conversation I say, this is my cell phone number, text me. Don't be surprised by that. We're gonna run a business, right? I'm not afraid to give my cell phone. My cell phone is on my profiles, right? So you got to be able to have those kind of conversations, like I said. But for me, um, I'm so glad I'm in this space. I really like this space. Now, I'm not one of those guys that's making 100,000 a month yet, um, but why not? My question to you, my question to everybody is, I always want to know why not. Why do they say not? I'm curious about the answers. I really am. Even when I was in mortgages, when people would say, "Oh, that's this," I would just say, "Why not?" I want to know. I want to know what goes on in your head that you immediately refuse it. And you know what I find out? You don't have an answer because we are so programmed to push back things. We're just programmed. I, out of the honestly hundreds of people that I've asked why not, I've never got one answer. Not one. I don't remember one person saying, "Well, this is the reason why not." I've never found that, and I'm always stunned. Like, how? Wait. Hmm, okay, okay. I move on. Like the good book says. Okay, don't sit there conversate with a fool, right? You just move on. Okay, right. So I like I said, redirection is a tough one because it's a huge turn. It's an adjustment. It doesn't come in like a box with a bow. No, it's probably one of those Amazon boxes that the UPS guy dropped off, and it's all like you know 300 people jumped on it, and 18-wheeler ran over it, and that's kind of how it's going to come to you. So remember this: you don't get restricted. We get redirected. There is no heavenly Father that wants their son to be restricted. No, he never wants that, ever. So we just keep standing in front of the locked door, the blocked door, the closed door, and we keep tapping and kicking it. All we got to do is turn around. There's another door that we are redirected to. Thank you for all the loves, right? So remember that. My name is Sean Azimi. I'm somebody who went from corporate America to an online gigpreneur. I help folks like you, like me, to start a business online. We use social media to grow it. If that resonates with you, you like it, you're curious or serious, don't matter. Go to sidekickshawn.com, answer a couple questions. I'll reach out. We'll have a chat. We'll take it from there. If you're not following me, let's go already. On multiple platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, X, LinkedIn, Threads, with Side Gig Sean. With that, I am signing off until tomorrow when we do it all over again. Much love.